Hello, happy Thursday. How are you guys all doing? Today, I'm very excited to launch us into spring with two tulip themed cards for you today, which are, everyone's favorite spring flower, right? Yes, I'm so excited. My name is Lori DeGroot from Lorita Marie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I love to come live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time so that I can share fun tips and techniques and ideas with you so that I can help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful completed projects that you can then share with others. So I'm so glad that you guys are here and hanging out with me today. If you're taking the time to watch the replay later, I always appreciate that and thank you so much. And if there's anything I can ever do for you guys, always feel free to shoot me a message or anything like that. Here, my kids are, we're gearing up for spring break next week, which is nice. I am so ready for a little break and rest. I wish we had like beautiful sunshiny weather. Okay, we have sunshiny weather, but I'm hoping for warm weather next week. But even if it's not, that's okay. It'll be nice to relax and gear up for some fun things that are happening. Hello, Nancy. Thanks for joining. I'm so excited for new colors from Stampin' Up. I can't wait. So I love this kind of stuff. So next Wednesday, if you've ever thought if you've ever thought about being a part of Stampin' Up, now is a fantastic time to do it because next Wednesday, if you're a demonstrator with Stampin' Up, you get a sneak peek of a color refresh, the brand new In Colors 2023-2025 In Colors. And then the catalog too at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So I am so excited. If you're not a demonstrator, you still get the catalog soon, right? Oh, did I freeze? I feel like I'm frozen. Let me know if I'm frozen. That was weird. The whole thing was like freezing up on me. Hopefully everything's okay. If you don't think you're on my mailing list for a catalog is what I was going to say, you can comment here or send me a message and I'll make sure that you get a catalog because you can get the catalog sent to you in early to mid-April. So it's just around the corner. So much fun. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm sure we can start sharing things next week after we find out. So definitely stay tuned. I will come out of my spring break hibernation for the color refresh. All right, let's get to our projects today. Come down to my desk. So today I wanted to think of spring flowers. And so I am bringing out the tulips from the annual catalog. And they're so much fun. And so we're going to be, maybe you've used them lots, maybe you've never seen them before, but we're going to be cutting out these tulips and making two great cards that you can use for springtime occasions, for Easter coming up. Who is ready? I don't know who's ready for Easter. No one's ready for Easter. I don't know how, is it a whole month away or just 3 weeks away? I don't know. It's coming up fast. It's going to come up fast. We're going to blink and then it's going to be Easter. It's usually how it goes. So this one, these are simple layouts that I hope that you can recreate and have some fun with. And so this one, we're just starting with the plain white card base. Here's some thick basic white. And then I'm going to be using some DSP today from the Awash in Beauty Designer Series paper. And if you remember this from the annual catalog as well. It's got really pretty colors in it, which is perfect for this time of year. So I've got this nice little piece here, and it is just 4 inches by 3 inches. And then I'm just going to add a little texture behind it by putting crumb cake behind it. So these are 3 3/4 inches long, and they could be as wide as you want them to be. These ones are 3/4 of an inch wide. And so what I'm going to do with my DSP is just run some seal along the top and the bottom, and then take these strips and just kind of, they're going to be a little centered, a little cut in. I've done this a few times. I just like it. Maybe it's just like a little different than putting a full mat on your DSP. And then we're just going to go ahead and put this on the center of our card. Let's see if I can see the end there. It's so bright. And then we're just going to center this. And then to create a little background for our tulip, I have already punched out a piece of DSP. So this is also from the Awash and Beauty DSP. It's got really pretty colors like polished pink, mossy meadow here that I'm using. And so I've just punched this out with my favorite punch, the decorative circle punch. And I'm just going to use my seal to put that off to the side. And then we're going to cut out our tulips. So I'm just kind of going to put it there as a little backdrop for our tulip. So let's just move that out of the way. And then, so for the stems of my tulips, I'm going to be using Pear Pizzazz. And for the petals, I'm going to be using So Saffron. So let's start with this. So you've got all these great shapes. Let me just show you again. So you've got these outline ones that also go with the stamp set, right? So there's a coordinating stamp set, of course. So you can cut out all these shapes that are in here, stamped, or of course you can just cut things out of cardstock. And these ones here that kind of look a little different are the ones that you would just cut out of your cardstock or DSP or whatever you want. So I'm going to cut out a long stem and 2 of the leaves, like that, out of the Pear Pizzazz. And then we're going to make a tulip, and I'm going to use this one here and one of these little centerpieces. So there's actually 3 shapes of tulips. This one, we'll make all 3 on the next one. I have to figure out which one I used on my, I guess it doesn't really matter. I think I use this one actually. This one just folds in half. This one has 3 flaps, and this one makes a little like bud tulip. And then there's 3 little center pieces, so you can layer up your tulips with all the fun kind of layers like they have in real life, and this one too. And the cutout pieces just adds a little bit of embossed detail onto your tulip. Okay, so let's start with, hopefully I haven't confused you already. It'll make sense once we start putting it together. So I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine here. So we've got our platform, right? So number 1, then number 2 for dies, a bottom cutting plate, then your cardstock, and then our leaves and our stem. And if I was smart, I would have cut a smaller piece of Pear Pizzazz so we could have cut everything out all at once. But we will make 2 passes here. So let's get those out of the way. So there's all our greens. And now we're going to cut our tulips. So got some So Saffron here. And our 2 tulip pieces. And let's just run those through. So I don't know, what is your favorite springtime flower? There's a few. You know, in Calgary, we don't really get the beauty of all the springtime flowers until like it feels like it's too late almost. But let's see, tulips, daffodils. I don't even know what they're all is. All right, so here's all our pieces. Let's grab our card back. And so first thing we're going to do is put our little tulip together. So I don't know if you can, it's a bit bright, isn't it? It does have a little embossed detail on it. And then there's a little seam there where we just fold it over. And then there's that little piece that you can put inside. So we can leave it plain like this. It looks really good. Or we can add a little dimension to it. And so if you want to step it up, it looks great like this. You could just grab an ink pad in a coordinating color, and you can grab the exact same color. So you could use So Saffron, or you could go a shade darker. And so a shade darker for So Saffron might be Daffodil Delight. That would look good. And I'm just going to use a sponge dauber. And I'm just going to add a little depth. And, you know, like usual, you don't have to be an artist. I don't really know. You know, you're just playing around. It's just, there's no right or wrong way to add on the color. So don't be scared to try it out. But that's just kind of like a little simple way to step it up. I'll show you what it looks like too without doing that and see what you like better. Maybe you like it better without. I'm going to put a little seal on that middle piece. Set it inside. See, and it's just gonna sit like that. Oh, I like it with the sponge dauber on it. And then we're gonna need some adhesive on this part. And you can use whatever you're comfortable with, right? So if you're comfortable with glue dots, liquid glue, seal, just wanna make sure it's good and secure like that. And then I am gonna have to break out some liquid glue, I think, for my stem. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting everything onto the card here. So one of these is empty. I think that I grabbed the empty one. I guess I shouldn't stop putting it back into where my other stuff is, right? There we go. So things this tiny, you kind of need liquid glue, or you can use your adhesive sheets to make it a sticker, whatever you're more comfortable with. And then we're just going to set him up like that. And then I'm just going to use my seal on the tulip leaves. And you can kind of, let's see, stagger them a little. We're going to cover up kind of where it meets the stem with a sentiment. You know, no two cards is the same, so I kind of look at my sample, but it always turns out a little bit different. And then I'm going to put my actually flower head on a couple dimensionals, just to give it that pop. There we go. And then now we just need a sentiment. It's already looking so cute. And so I'm going to use, what is this called? I just looked it up. Label Me Fancy. Label punch. This is a good go-to easy label punch. I like it. I'm going to punch out 2 because I'm also going to use one on the next card. So we'll get that ready. And then for this card, I'm actually going to use a sentiment from the Celebrating You stamp set. So this is in the annual catalog. And it's great for this time of year. If maybe you've missed this one, but we've got Mother's Day, Father's Day, anniversary, Easter, weddings, babies. So this is a fantastic all occasion stamp set that's especially perfect for this time of year because it's got all the springtime and early summer occasions in it. So I'm going to use Happy Easter, and I'm going to stamp in Mossy Meadow today. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle of sentiment there. Whoops. So we're just going to kind of put it like this onto our card. And so you can just leave it like this, but I'm going to add a little bit of twine behind it. Oops. I don't know what I got here, about 10 inches. And I'm just, I was saying the other day, I can't stop doing this on cards. I just like the way it looks. We all have a little like detail on a card that we love, right? This is one of the ones that I love. It's so easy. You just loop your ribbon or twine kind of in thirds. So it's like a little fake bow without actually tying a bow. I just put a glue dot in the middle, and then I'm just going to put the sentiment over top. And it's just kind of an easy way to add a little interest to your card. There we go. And then we're going to add some embellishments because why not, right? So again, card making, all about layers. You can stop at a few layers or you can just keep building. I'm going to be using my pastel adhesive back sequins, which are kind of my, I mean, these are perfect for this time of year. They're my favorite at the moment. You get actually 2 sheets, one of all little, one of all big sized, in gold, I think petal pink and balmy blue. And I'm going to just use the pink on this one and kind of mix and match big and small. And there is our first Easter card, our first tulip card. So fun. I love it. Okay, let's go on to our second one. So the second one just has a little bit extra going on. So we're going to step this up a bit. So I think we're going to cut out all our tulip stuff first. So we're going to bring back the machine here. And same sandwich as before. Okay, and let's cut out all our greenery again. So this time I'm going to cut out the leaves again, the stem. There's actually two sizes of stems, so I'm going to cut out a fat one and a skinny one. And two leaves, and then I actually need one more leaf. So I'm going to cut out the larger one again. So sometimes I have my die cut stuff done ahead of time, but I thought, you know, sometimes you need to see too how it doesn't really take that much time to cut out all the pieces. So let's cut ourselves another leaf here, and then we'll cut out our tulips. So there's our last leaf. So we've got 3 leaves, 2 stems. And then for our tulips, we're going to be using Calypso Coral and Blushing Bride. These are the colors that are in the Awash and Beauty Designer Series paper. So that's why I've chosen them. And we are going to cut out all 3 tulip shapes, plus all the little inset pieces. So there's 3 of that size and 1 of this larger size. I got dimensional backing stuck to everything already. Okay, as always. You know you're a crafter when you come out of your craft room with the dimensional backing stuck to your shirt or your hair or pants, or somewhere along the way you see it on the floor of your living room. Okay, that's all our pieces. Let's get this all out of the way for you. Okay, so we've got our 3 shapes and all our inside pieces. All right, let's see if I can straighten myself out a bit here. So let's go ahead and put these together. So like before, you can just leave these as is, or we can add a little color to them. And, you know, actually, you know what I forgot to do? On the yellow tulip, you could even add polished pink to it. I had polished pink in the DSP, and that would look cute. You know those two-tone tulips that are always kind of like reddy orange on the top and then yellow on the bottom? I love those. Those are usually the ones I buy if I buy tulips from the store. So this is Calypso Coral. And it's a bit dark on my sponge dauber there. But this is the same idea, right? Where we can just add a little dimension by adding a little color. You could do it on the outside too. So that's kind of fun. I kind of like the way it looks, and it's not too hard or fussy to do, really. If you haven't brought out your sponge daubers in a while or don't have any, you can get a little package of, I don't know what they come in anymore, package of 5 maybe? So there we go. Let's go ahead and put these together. So here's this one. So this is the smallest one, and it's kind of like a bud, like a closed up tulip. So we're going to fold it in like this. Let's see how it looks like a closed tulip. And then we're going to put our inside piece. I mean, this one's a little hidden, right? But you just barely see it. And then we're going to add our adhesives to the other sides. And I'm just using seal because that's the easiest for me at the moment for the class. But you can use whatever you like to. So there's the first one. And then here's this one, and it folds in with two sides like this, the fatter one and the skinny one. And this one we can actually put two pieces in. So let's put in the bigger one that we cut out, plus one of the smaller ones. And we're going to tuck the smaller one behind the bigger one so it kind of peeks out. And then we're also going to layer it into there. You can see that is that tulip. And then we've got one more. Thanks for bearing with me, but I just thought I would show you the whole process of the tulips today. Now, the tulips have been around, well, since last year's spring mini catalog. So we'll see if it comes back in the next annual catalog or not. I love the tulips. Okay, so then we've got our three pretty tulips. They look great. So let's start putting our card together. So for this one, I have a Blushing Bride card base. And then I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper. So again, we're in that Awash and Beauty. You can see what's got in the back there. And this is just a little strip that is 1.5 inches by 5 1/4. And so these are just some nice coordinating colors that are found in the DSP. These flowers are probably Calypso Coral, but I found the Calypso Coral card base a bit too bright for what I wanted. And then you can use the Calypso Coral on the tulips instead and have a more, a softer card base. And then I'm just going to use white. And that is 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then we're just going to connect the two with a little strip of Mossy Meadow. Whenever I put two pieces of paper on a card like this, whether this way or this way, I always like to cover up the seam with a piece of cardstock. So you can just cut a 1/2 inch strip. So this is a 1/2 inch by the 5 1/4, and then it just kind of gives it a more seamless look. So then we're going to gather up our pieces, and I've actually decided just to cut this once. This was the long skinny one, but I'm going to cut it in half so I actually have 3 stems. And then it just takes a little bit of playing around here. So let's put some seal on the back of our leaves. So they're ready to go. And then we're going to grab our liquid glue again for our stems. And I'm just putting little dots, so hopefully it doesn't ooze out too much. There we go. So we're making a little bouquet. So with the liquid glue, of course, you've got a little wiggle room. So let's see if that's, if I need to move things around. Now I'm sticky. This is the problem with liquid glue. Then it sticks. So I think that looks pretty good. So we will push those down so that they stay. And then we'll arrange our leaves. Kind of like so. See if I can get glue off my fingers. And then again, we're going to cover up kind of this messy bottom with the sentiment, right? So that's a good way to kind of hide what you're doing down there. So let's go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of all of our tulips again. One there. We'll put the little bud one in the middle. And put this one. There, so cute. Loving it. Let's do our sentiment. I've got that label piece cut out. I'm going to go to the Flowering Tulip stamp set, and I'm going to use this one here that says just thinking of you today. That's a nice one because that could be used for really any time. It could be happy things, or maybe somebody's going through a hard time. So it's a good sentiment. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow again. Just ink that up. Eyeball it there. You can always stamp and then punch out if that's easier for you. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of ribbon detail. So this is the Balmy Blue and White variegated ribbon from the mini catalog. And so there's Balmy Blue in this paper. And so this is just going to bring that blue, kind of connect it a little bit. So when you're building up a card, you can think about all your colors. And how they go together. I just put seal down and I'm just kind of folding that in half. And then, let's see, I think I'm going to put a glue dot. So this is to kind of hold the ribbon together. Then I'm going to grab my twine again and do my little loop-de-loop. So this time I've added an extra layer, right? So you could just do the twine with a linen thread here, or you can see I've just added that extra ribbon detail and I'm just kind of folding it back and forth. And this time I'm going to make it a little messy. And I just put a glue dot in the middle. And we're just layering behind. And now you're going to see both things behind there. And so we just need some dimensionals and then we're done. Now I'll just snip off the edge pieces here. Oh, just the one that I cut. There we go. And then last but not least, the sequins. Got to add the sequins in there. So this time you can add a little bit of the blue ones if you wanted to. Just pull those back in. So the gold looks nice. So let's add the gold this time and then maybe one of the blue ones. All right, we did it. 2 beautiful tulip cards. Hope I gave you some ideas there. Let's show you the finished product here. There's our second one. Of course, you could always use your Happy Easter there as well. So there's our 2 cards. And now you can see the tulips with the dimension from the sponge daubing. That looks really nice. I'll show you the original ones. I did not do the sponge daubers. And they still look really nice. But it is kind of fun. You can see that. It just adds a little bit something extra. Let's come back to this one. All right, which one's your favorite? Are you a yellow tulip girl or a pink tulip girl? Let me know in the comments there. Bring you guys back up for a second. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today. Those ones were fun to do. I'm all ready for spring, people. I am ready. The snow is melting here, and eventually we'll see grass and things will start to grow. So it's coming. Maybe it's nicer where you live. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Next week, you guys, I'm going to be taking a break from my regular Facebook Live for spring break, but I have a feeling I might come on and pop on and just do a quick one, depending what's going down with the colors and stuff next week, because it might just be fun to talk about it with you guys. So you can just kind of stay tuned and see. You can always check back on the page and see if there's a replay that you missed or something like that. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.